rate the questions.
Yes, okay, thanks a lot. Great session. Thanks a lot for your insight on this topic. We've got quite a lot of wide-ranging questions being asked on the chat and direct questions which everyone can see. The first one I'd like to take is someone's asked the question roundabout when you mentioned disgruntled employees or internal. Are there any tools or resources that could be used to tackle disgruntled staff?
Yes, absolutely. So a lot of the tools are, so there's quite wide-ranging amount of tools. So we've spent a lot of time and worked with organizations like the Cyber Institute and SANS to develop methodologies around insider risks can be mitigated across organizations. So there are popular frameworks out there, and I can share a little bit more with anyone that has an interest in that space. But tools such as SIEM solutions can help to identify if a malicious employee is doing something bad, and then with a level of automation and orchestration, you can reverse what they're doing and close out access to any systems that they may have access to. With tools like privileged access solutions or privileged access management solutions, you can actually restrict the permissions and what a user is allowed to do. So by tightly controlling the user permissions, a user will not be able to cause damage outside of the remit of their operations. You can review logs, like I mentioned, so feed all the log information into tools like SIEM and a whole range of other tools as well that we currently have today in the cybersecurity world. So the general or the short version of the answer is it's not easy, but it's getting better every day.
Fantastic. Thanks for the insight again. Someone's asked the question, do you require knowledge of programming language to work as a cybersecurity expert?
The answer is no. I'm not a programmer, and I've been a cybersecurity expert for many, many, many years, around 15, 16 years. So the short answer is no. Like I said, many, many different subdomains in the world of cybersecurity. Pick what works for you and run with it. Develop your skills accordingly. So these are the fields that we have in the world of cybersecurity. You there, Simi?
Yes, I just thought I lost you for a minute. Okay,
Oh,
fantastic. Yeah, thanks for sharing these various non-technical roles. I'm sure there are quite a number of people on the call who are business analysts. Some of them also might be risk managers, project managers, folk who work on training and awareness. None of these are technical roles, and you don't need to be a programmer to do any of the non-technical roles. Okay, we've got someone asking, I've got pen test, CISA plus, pen test plus, CEH, which is the certified ethical hacker. Can CyberGees help me prepare for these exams?
yeah, absolutely. So part of the, I'm going to flip back to that slide, the last slide, if I can get hold of it real quick. So part of the being on our post-training support program actually provides you with an examination token to one of those exams that you can take after 6 months. And as part of that, we would grant you access to some of the resources that we've procured in the past. We would give you access to our lab environment where you can actually train yourself and prepare yourself. You can gain hands-on practical experience with some of these tools. So for some of you who are more technically minded, You could play around with things like vulnerability scanning tools or password cracking tools or firewalls. And for the people who are less technically minded, you could play around with some of our risk management tools, for example, or some of our governance and process frameworks and documentation and things like that. So all of those things come in handy towards any certification that you're taking. So we can certainly help out with those as part of our push training support.
Great, thanks a lot for that. There's a question here to say, I'm an experienced banking operator, but thinking of moving over to a cybersecurity career. What are my chances of developing a successful career? How do I go about it, developing myself and certification?
Yeah, absolutely. So great question again. I certainly would say I would refer to the last slide here, where I've said you need a certain level of drive and determination to be able to succeed. You need to be a self-starter. It's not easy, but nothing good comes easy. If you have a sound understanding of how businesses work and what makes businesses tick, then you're already halfway there. The next then is you taking additional knowledge that you can gain in certification materials or in books or coming for training on the platform of organizations like CyberGees can help you to really help you enhance your knowledge and prepare you for the world of cybersecurity. But I always encourage everyone, do not look down on whatever skill sets that you have today, because there's always a role for yourself in the world of cybersecurity.
All right. Someone's asking, have you got a number of FAQs that I can look through at all on your website?
Yes, absolutely. Simi, maybe, I'm not sure if we can actually copy and paste the FAQ page on the website onto the chat window. I'm not sure if that would go to everyone. If it doesn't work, then I encourage you all, please go on the website, www.cybergees.com, and click on help, and under help, you would find FAQ. Or I think the shortcut is cybergees.com/FAQ. So whilst you're doing that, Simi, it just crossed my mind. I totally forgot to mention the stuff in circle on the screen right now. I'm sure Simi would have absolutely hammered me if I didn't do that after this session. What I failed to mention was we're actually offering a reduced price on our website right now for our next session, starting on and that should say 20th of October, not 20th of September. My apologies. Our next session starting on the 20th of October, we're offering a reduced price on the training today. It's going for £675 for the 3-day session. And if you sign up as well before the end of September, you would be getting a 10% discount if you use this discount code free10cyber as well on our website. So I'd encourage you guys, we have a session starting on the 20th of I'm getting the dates mixed up. It's sometime in October. I can't remember the date.
It's the 26th.
26th of October. Perfect. Thank you very much. So the 26th of October, if you sign up with the discount code free10cyber, not only are you getting the reduced price of 675, but you're also going to be getting a 10% discount as well. So I thought I'd mention that before it skips my mind, and I'd be kicking myself at the end of this session.
Fantastic. Yeah, so we've got a bunch of questions around. I'm in PM. I'm in AI. I'm an accountant. I think generally overall, there's a trend and a theme to say folk in different fields would like to find out how CyberGees can actually help them transition into cybersecurity.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we have a session running specifically designed to go into a lot of detail around cybersecurity. We've not even scratched the surface today. Uh, I've got 15 years experience under my belt. Simi's got 10 plus years experience under his belt. We have quite a lot of information and useful tips that we can provide to people and to our candidates as well. So certainly, please go ahead and sign up on our website, and we'd be able to kind of provide you guys with all the information you need to start your journey in the world of cybersecurity.
Fantastic. There's a question around AI. How can AI help organizations defend against cyber attack?
That's a wonderful question. I was going to touch on the topic of AI, but I thought it might be too much for this session. So, but now that someone's brought it up, so AI is actually influencing quite a lot of industries around the world, including cybersecurity as well. So AI, as most of you guys will understand it, it's highly intelligent computers trying to replicate human behaviors in delivering useful services to people. In the world of cybersecurity as well, we're starting to automate services and rely more and more on artificial intelligence to help us address security risks or mitigate threats. So earlier on, somebody asked a question around insiders. AI is being used today to help us understand or to baseline a standard pattern of activities that are carried out by users on a day-to-day basis. Simi, do you mind going on mute for a second? AI is being used to baseline the standard pattern of activities for users on a day-to-day basis. And then where there is deviation from that standard pattern of activity, artificial intelligence will pick that up and say, hey, this user who's known to always come in at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning and access HR databases and send some files from HR to a third party organization seems to be deviating. Now he's accessing the system at midnight. He's downloading the files onto his device. He's signing into OneDrive and he's starting to upload the data into OneDrive. This is very, very unlike this user. Something's going wrong. So AI can kick in and help close that particular threat vector there. So AI is increasingly being used now in the world of cybersecurity. It's not as mature as it should be, but again, we need more and more cybersecurity professionals in the industry to really help us develop and design some of these controls. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, for me it does. Thanks a lot for that. Someone's asking about a particular tool called Kali Linux. It says it's been practicing with this particular tool. It's a tool that's used for ethical hacking. Is there any advice on how to gain work experience in cybersecurity?
Yeah, so Kali Linux is useful. Again, it comes with quite a lot of useful toolkits and resources and materials, and you can run penetration testing services. You can do vulnerability scans out of it. You can set up a pseudo fake server and kind of use it to monitor different interactions with hackers and things like that. So very, very useful tool. Like I mentioned earlier on, we have a lab environment where we run a lot of these tools ourselves, which again, we make available to our candidates. It's cloud-based, it's on demand. So when you need it, you pull up the cloud request, you request access, and within minutes, you gain access to the cloud environment. So for people that are for candidates that are currently on our platform and engage with us, we also provide that work experience verification for them, so we can help vouch when recruiters come calling to say, hey, they've been on our e-work experience program, they've been supporting our clients for the last X months or X amount of years, and a lot of our candidates are able to then use that to gain employment in the industry. So those are some of the things that we provide as part of our post-training support.
Thanks for that. There's a question asking about what types of training is available from CyberGees.
Yes, another great question. So we offer our standard, what we call our cybersecurity professional training, which is an entry-level training really designed to expose people to everything in the world of cybersecurity. Now, the key points there to note is it's exposing people to everything in the world. However, after that training, people still need help. People still need to uh, do the day-to-day work of a cybersecurity professional. Otherwise, within a few weeks, they're going to forget everything they've learned. So even after that training, that post-training support program is extremely important for all our candidates. In addition to the cybersecurity professional training, we also have industry certification trainings available. So we have companies reaching out to us and saying, hey, I need you to come in for a week and take my people through the CISM certification training. And then we can kind of pull together a package real quick and go into that particular organization and deliver that training for that period of time. So we do those industry certification trainings, and we offer our own standard cybersecurity professional training as well.
Great. And we've got one question asking about 3-day boot camp seem to be quite a short period to actually get everything. What's the plan post 3-day training?
Absolutely great question. I love it. So again, like I said, the 3-day program is really to start the introduction into the world of cybersecurity. The post-training support is extremely important because that's when you actually start accessing tools and resources and doing some of the things that you'd expect a cybersecurity professional to be able to do. So you'd gain access to the lab environment, you'd have tasks that you have to deliver on, you would be working in groups, you would be working with your mentors to really kind of understand all the different activities going on. You'd be tasked with a lot of different deliverables, and you'd have to come back after a few days or a few weeks to present on those deliverables. So really living the life of a cybersecurity professional. 3 days is way too short for us to impart the knowledge that we've accrued over the last 15 years. So you're absolutely right. Hence why we've got the 3-day program plus the post-training support as well.
Fantastic. And we've come to the end of the hour, but someone just asked a quick question to say, is thinking of CISA, CIS, CEH, which of these would you actually recommend? And whilst you're just answering that, we've got a feedback. If everyone could just kindly complete the feedback that pops up on their screen. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Simi. So that was a great question as well. So depending on the interests and depending on the amounts of experience, I mean, it's difficult to answer that question. So CISA requires 3 years of IT experience, if I remember correctly, and CISSP requires 5 years of IT or related experience in the world of cybersecurity. So before you can actually take those courses, Simi, do you mind going on mute for a second? So before you can actually take those courses, you need to have accrued a number of years of experience in that space. So it's more of a question for that individual around how much experience they have, what their particular interests are. CISSP and CISA are certainly less technical. CEH is a little bit more technical. CEH goes into a lot more detail about the bits and bytes and is really focused on penetration testing. CISSP generally covers the whole breadth of cybersecurity, while CISA really does tackle it from a perspective of an auditor. So there are different perspectives for each of these certification exams. So it's really a tough one to answer without knowing about the profile of the individual, how much experience they have, how much interest they have across different domains and things like that.
Fantastic. We've come to half past now, and we'll be rounding off. And thanks a lot, Ope, for all the great tips, all the topic. We can definitely fit everything within this 90 minutes, but we do appreciate your insight into this topic. And once again, thanks to everyone who's been able to join us today. And we'll see you at the next web seminar. I've been your host, Simi Ayeni from CyberGees. We hope you have a great day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, everyone.